Good morning and welcome to today's episode of The Sports Break with Renee Washington and my matching co-host, Kwame Fisher-Jones. We did not plan this, by the way, but we are
trying to get in good spirits.
We are matching. That being said, it is Thursday. Today is actually ended up being a big news day. I yesterday was saying there was not a lot going on, but I stand corrected. So as of last night, the U.S. men's national... Yes, I sit corrected. Last night, the U.S. men's national team defeats El Salvador 2-0 in the Gold Cup quarterfinals. I know you're not a huge soccer fan, so I'll take you through it. I'm going to take you...
Costa Rica next.
Wow!
Yeah. Totally trying to get her good graces.
Off to a good start. So, that being said, it was at the Lincoln Financial Field. A lot of people went. Unfortunately, I was not able to go. But it was an exciting game. The U.S. men's national team brought 6 experienced players to the roster. It was a late addition that they brought them in. Michael Bradley, Tim Howard, Clint Dempsey, all these players. And then they turned around, and those are the same players that impacted the game. So at the 40th minute, Bradley's the one who gets the assist off of a free kick. He crosses it in.
At what minute?
40th minute into the game. The game is 90.
So 40
90
minutes of my life, I saw no scoring.
No, but you almost saw scoring. 3 minutes into the
almost.
game.
What am I, 13? Is my prime?
3 minutes
almost
into the game, Tim Howard has a huge save off of a pass back play that could have turned into a goal. El Salvador would have been up 1-0. He gets that stop 3 minutes in. That could have changed the game. 37 minutes later.
I'm sorry. Hey.
Wow, this is the problem with Americans.
I'm sorry.
Anyway,
I'm
37 minutes later.
4 days later. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Wow, very funny. Omar Gonzalez gets a head flick. That's a head ball, so the ball is crossed and he headed it into the net with his head. To score 6.5 minutes later, Clint Dempsey, also brought back an experienced player, gets an assist into Eric Lehigh, who was a right defender. And if you don't know where defenders are, they are the
They
right
apparently do a great
back.
job because
they're all the way back on defense.
An hour and a half later, somebody's finally scoring. So defenders must be all world. They need to be in the Eagles secondary.
So the right defender, which for soccer fans you know how big that is, makes a huge run up the field to become the highest player on the field for the U.S. Clint Dempsey with a great inside turn, finds his feet, he scores. They go up 2-0 at halftime and they win 2-0. Exciting game.
It is. So if I shaved, my beard might have been back by the time they scored. Is that what you're telling me? It's an hour and 23 minutes between scores? That is
I said 6.5 minutes.
Okay, you said 40 minutes after a yellow and blue
6.5
card,
minutes later.
and then 37 minutes, and then 6 minutes. I'm not a smart man, but I can add. That's an hour and 20 minutes.
It was at the 40-minute mark, and like 46.5.
If you appreciate good defense in any level of sports, that's great. See? And I was going to say that.
There's a positive. There we go.
There we come back on stage.
And that's huge for the U.S. They are now moving on to the
semifinals
to play.
Costa Rica.
Oh, glad you're paying
You know what would help soccer? Cheerleaders.
No.
Costa Rica would help too. What is
Why
wrong
do we need
with that?
cheerleaders to make soccer exciting?
Because during the dead
Cheerleaders
times,
work with soccer.
During the dead times, you could watch the Costa Rican cheerleaders. I would buy season passes for that. You know, what do you do during the intermission?
It's a halftime for like 10 minutes.
Okay, so what do you do for that 10 minutes?
Long. You go to the bathroom, you get some food, you
Man,
talk.
hey, look, I don't know about
the
you.
same thing you do at halftime during the basketball.
You watch the cheerleaders, the entertainment.
Not everybody does. Most people are walking out to get to the concession
That is
stand.
not true. That is a false statement by you. A lot of those cheerleaders are very appreciated. Cheerleading is a sport, and it should be respected.
It is a sport, but it doesn't work with soccer. The whole rah-rah, what are you going to say? Clear the ball.
Yeah.
Okay.
Be aggressive. Be aggressive. It's a universal cheer.
We had cheerleaders at one soccer game.
That's what it is. You had a bad experience. You didn't like your cheerleaders. See, good cheerleaders.
No, that wasn't the issue. It just doesn't work.
And you can have male cheerleaders
Okay,
too.
here's the issue.
So sexist.
A soccer game at the Link, for instance, they have a huge stadium. Think about how many cheerleaders the Eagles need. They have cheerleaders in every single corner facing every side of the arena. We don't need all that. We don't need all that. It's too much. Soccer's a loud atmosphere. It's a huge arena. It's not a small basketball arena where they're on the middle of the basketball court.
You know, I just think you're sexist. That's what I think it is.
I'm not sexist. It just is not necessary. Do we have cheerleaders at baseball games? Hockey games?
No, but they have intermission entertainment. Which usually involves getting
soccer usually has intermission entertainment.
Well,
they bring out younger
you said
kids.
to go use the urinals. That's not entertainment.
At a soccer game, they typically bring out some younger kids. They'll have them playing on the field.
Stop it.
It's all
Everybody cheer
about
for
the
little
kids.
Johnny.
It's all about the little kids. Anyways, moving on.
What else you got?
Moving on to
Free the
something that you...
cheerleaders.
Free the cheerleaders, wow. Hashtag free the cheerleaders.
That's right, free cheerleaders.
Moving on to
Male
something
and
that
female.
you know a little bit more about. The face of American football decades ago, and now the face of one of the biggest trials in America, O.J. Simpson. Today is decision day.
Deflategate.
I said decades ago.
Yeah.
Stay with me here.
Thinking about soccer cheerleaders, I'm sorry.
O.J. Simpson,
And a
today is
sandwich.
decision day, and they are deciding if, after he served his minimum requirement for his sentence, if he will be granted parole or if he will have to stay in jail for a few, 20 more years or so. Do you think he's going to get parole today?
All right, first, I need to talk about the fake story here. So there seems to be a group of people out here that don't want to free OJ. Because there was a news story that broke that top flight investigative reporter said it was a fake news story. And I saw it on the cover of the New York Post.
It was fake news.
So, yeah, but you said it was, I just said my top flight reporter said it was fake news. And it was one of those stories that made you just go, what? Like, why would he? So, and they said that he wouldn't be able to get out because of that. So that could have tainted the parole board in saying that he may have, they thinking negatively about OJ. Do I think OJ will be released is the question? I don't know. I haven't, I gotta be honest, man. You run into somebody's office with your goons and take property. I think, you kind of take the consequences of that. Especially when you're OJ Simpson and you're on America's hit list. So if he does, great for him. But he'll always be in jail minus the bars. Not to go too heavy.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
So
I think that is the hard thing. I mean, OJ was on trial. OJ was on trial for the murder of his wife and her lover and got off, as we know.
Associate, we don't know if that was her lover.
Okay,
That's
possible lover, possible friend. Okay, don't want to change up history.
And it was before your time, but yeah.
You act like because things are before my time, I don't know what's
No,
going
but
on.
I know it gets under your craw. So I know that comment bothers you. I know it bothers you when I say it was before your time.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I know.
Because you know things that happen before your time.
Yeah, I do.
Just because you were alive doesn't mean you aren't knowledgeable.
And just because you're alive, it doesn't mean you actually are cognizant of it. So
right, like you're alive and you
but
have no idea about what's going on with
soccer.
soccer.
To annoy you early in the morning,
I can't be annoyed.
Surefire way.
Anyways,
I disagree.
For OJ to get off for his murder charges in that trial and then turn around and rob someone, kidnap, and now he's in jail for all that for stealing his own possessions. It is life behind bars without the bars. Essentially, he still got caught for something.
Like even the fake news story was something that I don't want to reference the story, but it was
Google
something
it.
Google
it's
it.
Fake.
Like I told her, I said I'm not gonna put it out to you. You just Google it because I'm not comfortable with that conversation. But no, it just seems that OJ is a lightning rod for foolishness.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Maybe not so much crimes, but foolishness.
And even there was a story that he ate a cookie, and the cafeteria person, whoever that was giving cookies out to inmates, and he took one. And being an actual cookie, it was an actual physical baked cookie. And being that it's OJ, what does he do? He talks all loud about the fact that he's got a cookie. He has always been that loud presence.
Have you ever seen Eddie Murphy Delirious?
I
got some
have.
ice cream. Because you picture OJ walking around and I got a cookie.
That's pretty much what he did. And of course the guards found out. We're like, where'd you get that cookie from? Blah, blah. And for OJ, the first thing he's saying is he's trying not to do anything. He's trying not to do anything to mess up his chances of parole. So he's been really focused on getting this parole. And here we are today.
Never should have took the cornbread.
You're in jail. Have a dang on cookie.
How do we know that really happened, but not the other story?
That's actually been noted as being real news.
Okay.
But I don't know. Who knows what goes on
OJ,
behind bars?
it's always some ridiculousness. You know what I mean?
That's part of the problem.
It's always some ridiculousness.
That is part of his problem. Now, also because he's in Nevada right now. Also in Nevada.
But I know we're going to switch topics, but I want to seriously give you credit. Because I talked to like 8 people, and we all thought that story was legit. So I want to give Miss Washington credit. She cracked the story. She sunned me over the phone and told me, no, it's stupid. Move on in life. Grow up. And
if you had continued reading, you would find that the guards actually did claim that none of that is an issue with what he was allegedly doing and whatever.
the New York Post is a credible source.
I think it was an article that came out later yesterday.
It was TMZ Sports, or not TMZ Sports, but TMZ later on confirmed what you had already reported though. So you had already. Like you could actually see her head growing bigger and bigger and bigger.
All right, also in Nevada, in Sin City, woohoo! So apparently, sports gambling may have a future and may become legal in the near future. And the NBA commissioner Adam Silver has gone on record to say he believes in the next few years we will see sports gambling become legal. We saw NHL now has a hockey team in Las Vegas. The Oakland Raiders, despite all the fight to keep Oakland in Oakland, they are now moving to Las Vegas. And that's a 33-1 vote to move them there.
Yeah.
And Roger Goodell, our favorite NFL commissioner, has said if they had to make sure that it was a stable environment, they would be able to get a good crowd, a good following. And now it seems like things are moving toward Vegas. I mean, are we going to see sports gambling become a norm?
Yeah. We are, and the reason why this is huge, and this is why I proposed this topic to you, and I referenced the Raiders, is because the NBA and Major League Baseball are world sports. Those and hockey to an extent.
Yes.
They generate worldwide. Like
right.
Hockey's big in Canada and Russia. The NBA is huge in China, which can drive the economy.
Right.
And obviously, Major League Baseball, we all know we have the different countries that is prevalent in. So for the NFL to make that step, because despite what people believe is popular as it is here in America, it doesn't translate well throughout the world. So you have an influx of American Samoan athletes, but you don't have an influx of athletes from other countries playing American football. So
right.
they don't have
right.
that aiding them, and they're not an Olympic sport, and so on and so on. I'm
right.
not going to bore you with that. So for the NBA commissioner to preface a major move of an NFL franchise, and not just a NFL franchise, one of the top NFL franchises. You have the Steelers, the Cowgirls.
These are not the Bears moving to Vegas.
You got the Steelers, the Cowgirls, and the Raiders. Those are they carry the NFL flag. Right. So for them to make that move, and for him to say that gambling will be coming, and the influx of fantasy sports, FanDuel, and all those things. People don't even watch football games anymore. They watch the ticker for just the stats.
And they're very passionate about it.
Yeah. See, like we just hit a personal note there. But yeah, so to me, it's because I'm not a gambler, but I know how much it has dominated sports and made a lot of people. That's why analytics have risen into the forefront of sports scouting, because people who don't have a passion or a talent for scouting and evaluating or coaching, such as yourself, use analytics to justify a decision, and those analytics are predicated on numbers that people use for gambling. That's what Vegas uses. You go to Vegas, or you talk to anybody that runs a Vegas site, they don't know much about the sport, but they can tell you numbers. Cam Newton averaged, I want to say 70 some rushing yards in the year they went to the Super Bowl.
Right.
And I noticed this is a big story to me, because I have a lot of friends that gamble, and they always come to me for advice. So I give them wrong advice, so they lose money, and they don't ask me again.
By the way, friend of the year right here.
I am. Hey, no business to love me. You know what you get. I give it to you full. I like the filter, and I give it to you full circle. But so Cam Newton, I want to say, was averaging 70 some rushing yards a year. They went to the Super Bowl. Well, there was a Vegas line of, I believe it was 5-1, that he would rush under 80 yards. And a friend of mine called me and said, "Why are they doing this? This is child's play. He'll get this rushing yards. He's averaging these numbers. Da 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 da." And I said, if Vegas is giving you that line, then that means it's more than likely not going to happen. Yeah. Because they don't know the game; they study the numbers. So
understanding who Cam Newton actually is.
Thank you for staying awake. Thank you for staying awake during that segment. So yes, it is a very big deal for.
I'm just not into gambling. I mean, partly because I haven't even been able to legally gamble for that long, but I just know my competitive nature. I would raise all hell.
Did you just curse?
It's in the Bible. It's not a curse.
Did you just curse? Wow!
It's a biblical term.
Wow!
H-E double hockey sticks. If I was in a casino, I've been in one casino, and I had to leave because I was so angry when I put my money in, lost my money, and then now what?
It's like that.
Yeah, and I want to keep winning. Yeah. And it's not like a sport where you can train and get better at it to win. It's
you can count
the
cards.
Luck of the slot or the luck of the counting cards.
Gambling is not luck. Professional.
I don't know. I'm not professional. I'm not even amateur.
I'm not professional giving my money away.
No.
Yeah.
That's painful to me.
Then they try to get you liquored up. They try to get you liquor up, and they send scantily clad women over there. Next thing you know, it's.
I just know I would end up headlining the news somewhere because I'd be an emotional mess. I'd be cussing people out. I'd be angry. I would curse on that one.
You would say hell a lot?
I would say hell a lot.
That's your curse word?
Where's my money? That's how Kwame thinks I talk. Kwame thinks I talk like that. Where's my money? Oh no.
You're supposed to be here. What the frick are you doing? That is how you talk. That's exactly how you talk.
I don't talk like that. All right, moving on. We are going to take a quick break. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, we can't continue talking about gambling and all things Vegas and Nevada and O.J. Simpson all morning long. So we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we will dive into some more fun sports topics that are going on today. We'll be right back.
Didn't know, couldn't see what was around the corner from me. Let's go! Check me out, my legs are moving. Hands real smooth, gotta keep it moving. Take it fast, take it slow. Sing it all day, come on, let's go. Can't get enough of these crazy moves. Slide on by, now that's real smooth. Throw your hands up in the air. Bounce on down, down your hair. You stop, now that's real nice. Come on, get loose. Come on.
La Esperanza Mexican Restaurant and Bar, the best authentic Mexican restaurant in South Jersey. Your friends and family will enjoy the fun and the food, like our staple guacamole, tamales, and ceviche. Our weekday lunch special is just $7.99. We also offer Saturday and Sunday brunch. Enjoy the largest selection of tequilas in South Jersey, Mexican beers, bottle and draft beers, fresh margaritas, and daily beer and margarita specials. La Esperanza Mexican Restaurant and Bar, family owned and operated since 2002.
Hi, I'm Becky.
And I'm Eric.
And this is Cookin' Uncorked.
It is.
It is. And you can check us out Mondays at 10:30.
10:30 every Monday.
See you there. Got a quarter?
Welcome back to the Sports Break. I'm Renee Washington, joined by Kwame Fisher-Jones. We just broke down gambling, the NBA possibly having a team in Las Vegas, O.J. Simpson, the U.S. men's national team, yes, soccer. And now we have to get into Michael Vick and Colin Kaepernick. Kind of, I wanted to get a little rhyme to it. So, cool. As of late, Michael Vick was saying that in order for Kaepernick to restore his image, his career, he has to cut his hair. The first thing he has to do is cut his hair. And Colin Kaepernick responded with a tweet defining Stockholm syndrome, which I don't know if you know what that is, and I don't know if you guys know what that is.
Explain to him. I know what it is.
But it is a syndrome that abuse victims or any type of victim gets after being abused for a number of years over time, where they start to almost change the way they view the attacker or the person that is, causing that pain to them and sympathize with them, essentially. And they now start to agree with what they're doing, and they don't see them as the bad guy anymore. They see them as a friend. They see them as a person that needs help, but not in the sense that I need to get away from this person. Yeah. So, in this situation, Michael Vick is saying that he has to almost change his image to be more the norm, conform in a sense.
Yeah.
Cut his hair, go clean cut, and fit in, instead of having the afro, which the afro has over a number of decades been seen as a hairstyle that African Americans have or black people have for civil rights movements, Black Panther movements, things like that. It symbolizes that movement.
Power and military.
Right, exactly. So in this situation, do you think that Michael Vick was right in what he was saying about Kaepernick needing to cut his afro and go clean cut?
I wanted to talk about this, but I wanted to choose my words carefully.
Okay.
Because one thing I'm not going to do is question Michael Vick's blackness. That's not up for debate here, and I don't think that there's one way to be black. You see how I went quote
Preach.
Instead of air quote or syllable quotes.
Preach.
There's no one way to be black. My bigger issue is ignorance has no bounds.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael Vick was a convicted felon in which he did something illegal. He's
Right.
not qualified to give someone advice who is willing to sacrifice something for morality.
Okay.
He's not qualified to do that. And that's the bigger issue I have. The advice is based off ignorance. You're trying to appease to a certain group of people. And the fact of the matter is that we've discussed this. I believe Colin Kaepernick is comfortable with sacrificing his NFL career to keep an issue afloat, to keep people to continuously talk about that issue. That's why I often say that people should talk about the issue and not Colin Kaepernick being blackballed or the NFL owners being racist.
Right.
But specifically with Michael Vick, he's not qualified on this topic. And the people that bring him to the table are also have self-serving, and they're taking advantage of Michael Vick's ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
Because Vick is a guy who didn't study.
Okay.
Who didn't take advantage of his God-given ability. We have a discussion all the time about your talent versus some of the other hosts' ability, that there's a difference there. And you work hard on your talent while some of the other hosts just kind of lay back on their ability. They're able to do some things. So the bigger issue, the major issue I have is, again, Michael Vick's ignorance, and it's not naivete, it's a blatant embraced ignorance.
Okay.
Ignorance is a choice, and he's chosen ignorance, and to come out and make a statement that's predicated on appeasing people on a circumstance or situation that he, or experience that he had when he willingly chose to partake in an illegal act, is again ignorance.
Okay, but in his defense, and this is the only thing that I kind of understand where he's coming from, Michael Vick was also someone that, much like Kaepernick, was scrutinized. He was in the public eye, and for obviously different reasons, but he spent 2 years in jail for his, dog
11
fighting.
with federal prison.
And he,
like
yes,
a real prison.
he did.
Not
he
jail,
did.
like a real prison. Like, yo, he didn't get any cookies. Somebody was trying to take his cookies.
Oh,
So,
I wouldn't make it.
I hope not.
He spent 2 years in prison, and he had to come back. I mean, in the height of his career, when everything was changing, had to find a way to restore his image and make himself likable again. Get people to see him for being Michael Vick, a good football player, and not Michael Vick, the dog fighter. And so in that sense, I do feel like he has some credibility in talking to Kaepernick because he's been through the scrutiny, he's been through the public eye putting him down for his actions and found a way to turn around and fix it. And I don't know if he fixed it completely. I don't think he'll ever get back to that Michael Vick level, but he has found ways to conform
or
Michael Vick to conform to get himself liked again versus continuing to butt heads with everyone. And I do think, one more thing, as a black person in America, I hate to bring up race.
I thought you were Dominican.
As a black person in America, sometimes you have to set aside your opinions, your values, your beliefs. Sometimes you have to sit a little quieter instead of speaking out on what you think should be said and pick and choose your battles to get by. And I know it's funny you mentioned, there's no way to be black. There's no way to look black, act black, whatever. That's something that I know I have dealt with my entire life. I don't talk black. I don't act black. I look black.
Oh, to see her off camera, I beg to differ. You get Renee sass in a minute. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what black you're talking about.
But I mean, it's the sense that, is it really conforming if you do what it takes to be successful? Or, like, if I'm benefiting myself and talking properly versus speaking in slang or whatever talking black is supposed to be, because apparently it's a language, that's benefiting me to be successful versus me coming up here dressed one way, acting one way to fit the stereotype. So I think it may be even more along those lines, that he has to do what it takes to make himself successful, not worried about what other people think. What does Colin Kaepernick have to do to be the best Colin Kaepernick?
And that's where I'm gonna lighten the mood a little bit. No, not they have to, but I want to keep people's attention, and I want to make a point that, like, I have a joke with Everett Terry, who's the co-host of the NBA Files, which you can watch every Saturday on RVNTV.
There it is.
And we have a new show called Spanning the NFL Globe with Miss Washington. You get more Renee Washington for all her fans out there.
Yay!
Starting in September. But I always say to Everett, if you would stop talking in 30 seconds, you'd be right 99% of the time. The further you go into a topic, the more wrong you are. And that's with Michael Vick. And if Michael Vick stopped at, I had an image issue, and my image issue I'd say Colin should cut his hair to change his image. That would be fine.
That would be it.
But when you add context to his image issue, there's a difference. Colin Kaepernick's image issue is not one of conformality or assimilation.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you're referring to, trying to assimilate yourself into a culture. So trying to go with the norm of that culture. And for instance, you referenced speaking black, which is in itself a sensitive topic because, you know, I use a very harsh phrase, so I won't use it, but when people speak unintelligently or use words like conversate and, you know, they embrace that, it's kind of like, don't get mad at me because I choose to read.
Right.
You know what I mean? And don't get mad with me because I choose to be educated and learn to be versed in many different cultures, which that's what being black is. It's a culture. It's not a language. So
exactly.
Versed in different phases of black culture as opposed to being integrated in just one black culture.
Yes.
Now, bringing that all back to Michael Vick. The bigger issue with Vick is quite simple. Michael Vick committed a crime, but it wasn't just the crime that played a downfall in his image. It was the laziness and aloofness in which he approached his profession.
Okay.
That's the difference. Colin Kaepernick has not committed any crime. He has never been claimed to be lazy or disrespectful to his sport. So as they creep in and try to tell me to wrap it up, you know, the bottom line is for Colin, his image is not something he needs to fix. His perception is not something he needs to fix. It is the world that needs to fix themselves. Where Michael Vick chose to play and basically bask in stereotypes and then turn around and say, oh, I'm not who I was portraying to be. Yeah, you were, Mike.
Yes.
You changed what you did in hopes that people would think you changed who you are. But Colin has showed who he is. He is someone that believes in human rights, not given rights. He's someone that believes that all people should be treated and viewed in a certain way, and he's taken the time to learn. That was something Michael never did.
I do like the fact that Colin Kaepernick is speaking up on what he believes in, and it shouldn't have to look a specific way. And I don't think that his playing ability and his civil rights activism should be
just being civil
should be compared to each other. And honestly, they shouldn't be compared to each other. They're two separate entities. And Hall of Famer Joe Montana, big name quarterback, has said that he is now viewing Colin Kaepernick as the Tim Tebow type quarterback.
I have no problem with that.
We'll see. I think that his playing ability does need to get better. He needs to get back to that level we saw him at, years back when he made it to the Super Bowl. But last bit that we want to quickly hit on. A number of NBA players have been complaining, including Kyrie Irving, who is the face of 2K18. They have been complaining about their ratings on the video game. Clearly, this shows a sign in generations because it's not something you would see people, Allen Iverson, Dr. J, let's go way back, Magic, they wouldn't be complaining about their rating on a video game. But Joel Embiid, Karl Anthony Towns, Kyrie Irving, Devin Booker, D'Angelo Russell, all these players saying that their rating's not low enough. Paul George said his rating's lower, but by the end of the season it will be high at 99. Quick thoughts. 1 minute on the clock.
Get your game up, not your hate up. Get your game up, not your hate up. Period. Become a better player. LeBron don't care. Dwayne Wade don't care. Magic Johnson wouldn't care. It comes to a point where you young cats, and I sound so old saying
young cats is definitely an old term.
Nah, these young blood. These young dudes just need to get focused on what allows them to be a part of this community, and that bothers me. Kyrie is supposed to be a champion. I don't want to hear him talking about those stuff. Like, some things are beneath you, dog.
Yeah.
Some things are beneath you, and I mean, Joel Embiid, D'Angelo Russell, those dudes struggle with focus too, and it's obvious in their play. But Kyrie, come on, man. Let's work on getting a shot up without holding the ball for 7 seconds per.
Dribbling the air out of the ball, then decide to shoot.
Yeah.
But I do agree that NBA players, and these NBA players specifically, need to focus more on their playing ability, their game being better. Obviously, someone has to be ranked in the 70s, 80s. Everybody can't be 99. This is not cheats. We're not boosting everybody up.
Yeah,
someone has to be ranked somewhere, and there's a totem pole. Obviously, you're not LeBron James. You're not Steph Curry. You're not these top Kevin Durant, the top players in the league. So you can't expect to have ratings similar to them.
And don't care.
So at the end of the day, to those players that are whining and complaining, at least you made it. You've made it to the NBA. You're in the game. You're in the commercials. You're doing all the preparation for it. Just enjoy the moment, and you'll get there. Especially these young players, D'Angelo Russell, Joel Embiid, Kyrie. They're all young players. Give it time. Give it time, and you'll get there.
Won't be here in time.
That being being said, we are out of time. That is it for today's episode of the Sports Break. I thank you guys for, joining us this morning. And of course, tomorrow we will be back here 9 in the morning with a special guest, a good friend of mine who played at the University of South Carolina with Dawn Staley. She has her own growing company and brand that's working to help. Well, you know what? When you come here tomorrow morning, we'll talk about that. I can't spoil everything. Check back in tomorrow morning for that show. I'm Renee Washington here with Kwame Fisher-Jones on the Sports Break. I hope you have a great Thursday, and I will see you tomorrow morning.